Shalom, I am Naama Ru. This is my husband, Rabbi David Ru, and this is a video where we talk about this week's Parsha and a story from our history that has something to do with something in the Parsha. What's this week's Parsha?
This week's Parshas is VaYetzei, and it says Yaakov Avinu, when he gets up after having slept all night in the place that in the future become the Beis Mikdash, he says, "V'chol asher titen li aser asreinu lach." If you return me in peace to my father's house, everything that you give me, I will give you a tithe of it. The story is told about Reb Shalom HaKohen, who was the grandfather of one of the famous Hasidic Rebbes.
When?
Let's say almost 200 years ago. That he was a goldsmith. And even during the day, as he was working as a goldsmith, he would be meditating on the matters of Kabbalah. And at night, he would hardly sleep because he would spend his nights learning Torah. Reb Mordechai of Kremerentz and Reb Meir of Premishlan said that he was one of the Lamed Vav hidden tzaddikim, one of the 36 righteous people upon which the world stands, who no one knows who they are at their time. The Reb Meir of Premishlan and Reb Mordechai of Kremerentz, of course, lived afterwards. Looking back, they were able to reveal the fact that he was one of the Lamed Vav tzaddikim.
So every generation, at any time, there are always 36 righteous.
Unknown tzaddikim.
Unknown.
Once they're revealed, so someone else has to take their place. So you can never reveal them, at least in their lifetimes, because then they haven't performed their appropriate job.
Like Rav Herschel Yolis.
So
A blessed
he was, and every goldsmiths, of course, make a significant amount of money, and this Reb Shalom HaKohen was very careful to always give a tithe of whatever profits he had to charity. One time when he was refining the gold, he made a mistake and he destroyed it, and it created a huge financial loss for him. He calculated what the loss was, how much he had lost, and he gave a tenth of that to tzedakah.
To charity.
And people said, we don't understand. You're supposed to give a tenth of your profits. He said, the Gemara says that K'moshe mevarchim al tov, kach mevarchim al ra. In the same way that you're supposed to say a bracha with simcha and happiness over everything the good that God gives you, so too you're supposed to say a bracha over everything the bad that happens.
Wait,
so he said,
can we repeat? You say a blessing, like you would say, you give thanks, and you say a blessing for everything good that happens in your life.
And there's another bracha that you say when something bad happens. And you're supposed to say both of them with the same religious intensity and joy. And so Reb Shalom HaKohen said that so too, if I receive a loss, I have to celebrate it in the same way as if I receive a profit. Just like from a profit, I give a tenth to tzedakah. Here too, from a loss, I also have to give a tenth to tzedakah. The idea of saying a bracha over the good and over the bad with the same joy and intensity. Chassid once asked the Maggid of Mezrich how it's possible to do such a thing. And he said, go ask Reb Zusha of Hennepel how it's possible. So he goes and he searches out Reb Zusha. When he finds him, he asks that, he says, listen, the Maggid told me to ask you how it is that you say a bracha with the same simcha over the bad things as over the good things. And Reb Zusha was known for everything bad possibly happening to him, time after time, thing after thing. Many, many stories, which we're not going to tell now. And he said, I don't know why my Rebbe, the Maggid, would have told you to ask me such a question, because nothing bad has ever happened to me in my entire life. it's all a matter of perspective and how we look at things and how we relate to things as to whether we can make lemonade out of the lemons, or whether we don't even perceive at a certain level that there are lemons at all. A good Shabbos.